Welcome back. We are in the bronze jungle now, and we're talking about Diana some more. She got nerfed. Her clear speed isn't as good, but she got a little extra damage in her abilities. Is she still as strong as she was? We're going to talk about it. That works well. Nice to see you. Like we talked about, we are in the bronze jungle now, which is exciting. Bronze obviously isn't that high, but when you start Iron 4, it's fun to get into bronze. Unfortunately, Recon misses the knock up there, so we're just gonna head back and keep it clearing. It's not worth chasing a first blood like that, especially with the little bit of a nerf that Diana got. So her third auto attack used to do 300% extra damage to jungle camps. Now it does 225%. And it's noticeable, but not for very long, really. The first clear is a little bit slower, but even then, with my subpar clearing speed, I'm able to get done just after 330s. So if you actually put in some time and do a better job, I'm sure it's still 330 or a little bit faster. And then she got 10 extra damage on all levels on her Q and 6 extra on each of the orbs at all levels, which is nice. I don't know that I really saw too much extra from it, but we're playing against a Rammus here. We actually had 2 unranked players in this game on the enemy team, so I'm assuming that was 2 duos we were up against. It was a big question whether or not she was still going to be viable after this nerf. I don't think the plan was to really knock her completely out of the jungle, and I honestly didn't feel too much of a difference. Again, this is just a little bit slower. One of the big things about optimizing clear with Diana is making sure not to use your abilities too soon. You'll see I do a bit of a gap between the Q and the E so that you have more time with your passive auto attack speed going faster. So we're finishing this right about 330. You could also smite. I tend to not do it still, just from when I was doing a little bit more Kindred playing. You always want to keep the smite for the crab on Kindred in case you get the mark. We do smite there, and then we'll go and take a look here. This is really wasted time. She's trying to back. They don't have very much mana, but the wave is way too far for her to look at for any kind of dive, so that was just a bad play for me. I've really been liking starting Raptors on Diana because you're able to do a full clear and then go back and clear topside again, and you can back and get Dark Seal and Faded Ashes first if you didn't get a potion on your first buy, which I don't think is really required, especially depending on your lanes. I figured that this probably wasn't going to be too much of a fight early on, so we just went ahead and did that. I did waste a little bit of time with the pathing there when I was going through mid because I wasn't sure if Cassiopeia was going to push up or not. Doing a little bit better, at least at the beginning of this game, of actually using the mouse to look around, or not the mouse, but the hotkeys to look at the different lanes. Trying to get better at that. The dragon's up. We'll pick these 2, and then we're heading back to clear bot. I'm assuming that Rammus started bottom and cleared up to his blue side because we didn't see him when we were down there. If you didn't know, you can Q to or QE over that wall with her. You can see there with the blue, this is going to end up being an objective trade. Rammus is going to be getting those void grubs. So we were generally right about where he is. We're panning down. We're seeing a bunch of fighting down there. It's not so much that I'm going to just drop the Gromp, but I am trying to pull it this way. We just barely managed to get around the scout there. That's why I started doubling back. Barrier gets pulled. W. Use second E to get on her. Rakan flashes, then Mila flashes, and we're out. So we get that, and then we're able to transition into taking this first dragon. Trying to pull it out a little bit. I'm still not patient enough and do a good enough job on that, but this is really optimal because Zaya is still able to get some damage on the turret. There go those grubs. Go ahead and ping just in case people aren't paying attention. And I got the first dragon. And I'm just gonna check and see if there's anything up down here. He shouldn't have left anything up, but you never know. And he left his rope up. So I guess he didn't really leave his red buff up so much as it wasn't cleared fast enough to make too much of a difference. I did ping there just to try to warn KO that Rammus could be doing the same thing to me. We'll go back here and just look and see if there's anything, but waves pushed in. We're gonna clear the pink ward and then get out of here. I played another game earlier this week on the Dragon Slayer Diana again, and it feels so clunky compared to this skin. This one is just very nice to use. Plus, my daughters like it because I look like Elsa. Heading back, clearing the top of the jungle if it's here. And we can see that his blue buff is coming up pretty soon here too, because we had eyes on it. So, still want to clear our side. At least a good chunk of it first. Just in case, you always want to try to clear stuff before you do a risky invade, unless you have sight on them. Just because if you die, then at least your camps are down, they can't take them, they're respawning, you're not really wasting time from a gold per minute standpoint. Obviously dying is suboptimal always, pretty much, but nothing really there. So we're gonna go see if we can find Rammus here. His blue buff is up. We're gonna ward on this side just so we can see. I pinged, let them know we don't know where he is. And you see Neeko and Cassiopeia fighting. Cassiopeia flashes, misses her ult. This is pretty easy cleanup. She also has no mana. We get that, and then Rammus jumps in, and we're not quite able to get him because he's got Ghost. So then we walk back this way, get out of vision of the minions, and we see Rammus go into his blue on very low health. Originally I was going to be going back, but seeing that he's just going straight back to farming that low, we're definitely not going to let that stand. I probably could have just gone straight in here, but instead I missed the attack on getting the vision. We see he's still pretty low health. QE, W, and then I did that too early. I didn't really realize that wouldn't do any damage, but I hit him with a Q. And that's Feats of Warfare cleaned up on the nerfed Diana. So I think she's doing just fine. That's got to be like at least 20 likes, right? Also, let me know what you think about the new positioning here of the win percentage graph. I'm trying to figure out where I like it the best. I feel like chat is normally in that spot for me, so that's the spot that we don't see through as much. When it's up in that top corner, sometimes it's hard to see. I don't know. Still thinking through it. We're able to pick up our Leandries at 10 minutes, which feels good. I wanted to go fight for these grubs. We see Rammus coming in, maybe trying for a gank. Yes, trying for a gank. Just heading on out. We're going to pick up these raptors. They're so easy to grab on the way. There's really hardly ever a reason to skip them, especially since we saw Ramos head out. We know his top side is not clear, or is clear. He doesn't have any camps here, so he's not likely to be hanging around if he's not fighting for this. I'm going to hit that bear. We start clearing this. Kale is getting chased by Alawi. Ramos does come back, and there was a ward that popped up just for a second in the corner when I put my pink ward down, so we are on a ward here. And then you're going to see a recurring theme here. I am really bad at fighting Alawi. I do get an ult, but it gets knocked out of it. And that Ramos Alawi combo gets me a couple times this game. But we were able to get one of them, so although we do lose 2 and they end up with 5 of the void grubs, they don't get anything for the Feats of Strength. Plus, down in the bottom lane, they're getting tons and tons of plates here. So, it's not ideal, but that ends up being just -1 LP for each of those, which is great. Again, the way this works, if you haven't seen it, this is from Coachless GG. Not sponsored, but I like their stuff a lot. They use win percentage graphs and calculations, and then the yellow is just the trend of the game, and then there's blue for good plays you were involved in, red for bad plays, and purple for epic swings. And based on how much it changes the win percentage chance, they are then able to calculate how much that one play will gain or lose you in LP on average. And I really like it because I feel like it is especially helpful for looking at and calculating what's going on in the game rather than only looking at deaths. Sometimes deaths end up being good because you can take a lot of cooldowns and stuff. We go full in on Cassiopeia here. Really a pretty straightforward fight. We almost pick up Ramos, and actually Rakan gets him. And we're able to get our second dragon. It was a little scattered. We didn't have any gigantic ults or anything, but plenty of damage coming through. Just checking, seeing if anything's up. We will back, go spend some more money, get stronger. Picking up our second Haunting Guys, heading into Riftmaker here. It's still really good as a second item. It gives us everything that we want on Diana. It gives us HP and AP. Alawi's still pushing this top pretty hard. I want to try to see if there's anything I can do to help. I'm also checking on my Krugs, making sure that she's not taking those from me. She could be in these bushes right up above me, but she's just gonna let me take them, and I'm gonna do it. We do have Kale, who is going to be so immensely strong as the game keeps going on, so it's just an important thing to remember. Kale scales so incredibly well. It's not really the end of the world if she has a little bit of a rougher time early on. Coming up to try to hold this a little bit, keep her from getting some free damage. I got a flash out of her, which is great. Still looking for... I missed that angle. There she is. She's backing up, and Kale is coming here. And I hit her and went on it, but unfortunately, Ramos was there again. I think we maybe would have been able to kill her if Kale had gone in on it. I should have pinged it better, honestly. Diana is able to engage from such a long distance that it can be really tough for people to follow up if you don't let them know that that's what you're going to do. That was definitely a poor decision, another bad death from me. It didn't end up affecting the LPs too much because we're so far ahead. I need to move that gold tracker. You can see we're up by 6,000 gold right now. Which is quite a lot this early in the game. We want to come here and try to contest so we can take the Rift Herald. Zaya's getting this cleared out, which is fantastic. You always want to clear those before you start the objectives because it gives you an advantage. You're able to move faster than the enemy team. Rama splashes out. We've got all 5 here, so we're able to just burn this down. We see Callista's down in the bot lane. This is not really a fight. Rakan does a good job of zoning. E in on Cassiopeia and hit her there. We'll go pick up the eye. And then we're here, so I figure we might as well go ahead and push this. Again, I should have done a better job of telling everybody else. I see that Kale's here, but I honestly thought the rest of the team was in-game. Obviously, they left. You look at the minimap, but I wasn't looking at that, so... You get a good hit on there. And that's really all that we've got. Trying to dance around here. But we do know that Lavi used her ultimate early when she killed me, so... able to pick up that kill. And we do get the top lane turret, so... And while we were busy there, they picked up mid lane as well, so... That's great. Cassiopeia is doing something. She's so fast. I'm sort of trying to chase her, but I don't want to just walk into her abilities. But now that we got Neeko, she flashes as soon as I E the first time. Again, you always have that second E that you can use if you need to, but I like to hold it because the Q, once it's maxed, really isn't that long of a cooldown. And once your E is down, because you level it up last, it's like 17 seconds or something before you can use it again. So if you can wait for those 4 or 5 seconds, it's really worth it. There's a lot of scrapping and just fighting that happens right now. That was not a good place for that ward. Rammus keeps trying to show up to the right places, but they're just pretty far behind. And he keeps coming in on his own. So he's getting ready to come around here. They know that we're working on this, but again, Rakan just stops him, and then we just... I think he does actually get out here. So here I use the E for the engage, which is dumb. There's no reason to do it unless you have ultimate up. Then you could do E ultimate if you need the engage, but we just don't. Now my ult's up, but I don't have the E to jump onto her, so that was a bit of a misplay. We clear them up though, so we're going to be taking this jungle. Again, that's just not a great play. He also missed it and smited me. Gonna go ahead and back because we got a ton of money to spend. We're actually able to pick up the Rift Maker and Magi's. I've really been enjoying grabbing this third if we're doing well. It doesn't cost very much money and the perks are fantastic. Getting that stacking AP plus the extra movement speed, and on this build I've taken Sudden Impact and Relentless Hunter, so I'm kind of leaning into that extra damage and movement speed, so it really synchronizes well. Good ult from Neeko. Unfortunately she dies, but we're able to clean it up. Here was a good use of that second E. There we go. I do need to get better at just holding spacebar in fights. I'm so used to moving my camera around that I'm doing that a little bit too much during fights, which then makes it harder for me to get my mouse aiming where I need to go. We start this up, but unfortunately Lowy's right here, so we can't really stay. Plus that one just does so much damage and shred, which Lowy also does, so we've got to just back off for now. We can pick up that rose. And we wait for the rest of the team. We can farm this right now. We see Rammus putting a ward up in our area. Clear these tentacles out. Cassiopeia's down here. There's 3 mid right now, so that is good. Looking good for us. She got rooted. I don't know why I didn't hit my Q there. She dies to the burn, or actually, Neeko gets her, but... And our Kale did a fantastic job this game of keeping up constant pressure. Try to get out of that. We do lose the mid tower, which isn't ideal. But you can't have everything. Rakan flash, ultimate, misses there. I also missed my Q, but we're able to grab her. I'm gonna let them keep pushing and see if there's any raptors, and there aren't, so. We can kind of push it in a little bit more, but we don't have a fantastic team for sieging, and they can clear waves pretty well, so. Just seeing if there's anything else there. And then this is some pretty bad play for me here. Just little things, but there's no reason to back right here. They can clear that. I obviously have to move. And this makes Rakan stay, and then I kind of want to stay because Rakan's getting fought, and then I just back right here, which is also still greedy. There's not a huge reason for me to back right now. And then we end up dying. Which is bad. Should have just ran over to our side and backed. Initially the thought was that I needed to back so that we could get her, or keep Lowy from pushing the top lane, but everybody else had already taken care of that. Just not keeping a good eye on what's actually happening on the map. I looked, identified an issue, but then didn't see if it was still there. So we head back. I tried to flash E. I don't know why I missed it, so. Missed flash there. Clear this up. We're doing great right now. 11 and 2, almost fully stacked Magi's. But the astute viewer will see there's the death coming up. This is our soul dragon, I believe. We're dancing around. I do hit her in there. And again, it's a pretty good ult, but I go in way too deep. The rest of the team can't see what's going on. So that was bad. -1 LP for that. And then we are going to end up losing this dragon, which wasn't a good fight. Wasn't ideal. Nobody really fought it particularly poorly. It was just a bad fight in general. So although we did lose that fight, and it can be a bit of a demoralizing one, it's moved our win percentage from 99-ish to like 92 or 80 at the least, probably. Again, that dotted line towards the very bottom of the graph right now is 50% chance. So things are still going just fine. We did lose some of our stacks, so we're not doing quite as much damage, but even when we buy Magi's on this build, it's not primarily a super damage build. Here, another really dumb death. We see a Lowy. Why in the world would I go up and fight for that? This is really bad. I go ahead and ult to try to get some extra damage in, but
It's only the first bit, not the second. They're able to clean up Rammus, which is fantastic and saves the Baron probably. Cassiopeia missed her ult there. There was a couple of bad plays in a row from me. Just some sloppy play and not really respecting the enemy team very much, where I have so many kills and so that means I can just do whatever I want, but obviously not. These are their players. They're not AI. They generally know what they need to do and how to do it, so just because you're doing okay doesn't mean you can ignore what you did in the first place to get there, right? It's like taking medicine and then you start feeling better, so you stop taking the medicine, but the medicine was the thing that was helping you. Anyway, so back to fundamentals. We're clearing. We've got a ward on Baron. Zaya's got to push up for us as well. And we see two people go down and catch that, which is immediately a sign for us to get out of here and go take that Baron. Alawi's top. There's two bottom for no reason, which means we want Baron. Zaya also backed and she's coming. We get another ward out here. They've already started it up. And we go. There's still two bottom. It's the freest Baron in the world. Rammus is starting to come, but it's just way too late. Back to the camps. You can let other people catch the waves most of the time if you can. Obviously, if you can sneak in and grab some, that's great, but you need to not just run around all the time. And here is just some bad play for me on Alawi. I didn't really know very well. First of all, I waited too long. Didn't realize that you need to go in and try to fight her to keep this from hitting all the way through. All sorts of things. Just getting beat up. They're getting kills mid though, which is great.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Gotta heal back up. And clear these out. Now we've got three here. Rammus misses. Rakan gets good knockup. I get hit on two and it ult on both of them. This is a death I'm pretty happy with. Again, if you're taking a lot of cooldowns for the team and they're able to follow it up, I'm not upset with that personally, at least where I am in my game right now. Sometimes somebody needs to be the one that just takes all those cooldowns and takes the damage. We're able to get two killed. We pick up the turret. And now we've got 4 versus 3 on the map, right? We always want to be the hero. We want to get all the kills, do all the things, but it's important to remember that it's a 5-person game. So if I can die and 2 others die too on the enemy team, great. Plus we sort of are doing all of the things also anyway, right? We've got 19, we're participated in 19 out of the 25 kills. That's not too shabby. We are skipping to head to the dragon here, so we can pick this up as well. Rakan does another great job of zoning. Rammus just kind of does whatever. We're able to layer those ults well. I kite Cassiopeia, and then I miss her there, but We EW. And get in there. And now we can push this pretty hard. More of his raptors for me. Milo's doing whatever he's doing. We take this inhibitor. We don't have a wave really close enough at the moment. So I'm heading up this way to try to push this top wave. Plus, I don't really want to back because I get to be the pretty purple version since I got 2 people melt. But seems like it's best to back. Everybody else is here. We'll take his Gromp as a party snack. We did go for the plated steel caps this game, even though they have been nerfed. I think they're still pretty good. Their Callista is one of the main sources of damage, Callista and Alawi, and they're both doing a lot of physical damage. So, went ahead and picked those up this game. We also went for, didn't talk about it, but went for the Abyssal Mask instead of the Unending Despair. I don't know if that's really necessarily optimal or not. I almost got stopped there too. Unending Despair doesn't do as much damage or healing to yourself, but you still have the raw base stats after its change. Clear this out. Kale's pushing bottom, so we just need to stall this out as much as we can. Great ult. I go in on Callista and then ult, and I'm just stunned and stuck, spamming. Finally get my Secret Arm Guard off. Get Alawi killed. Zaya cleans it up. Kale's already pushing the bot. And that is a game 1. I even got excited enough I turned chat back on.
Has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret.
I tell everybody what a great job they did. So we finished. We helped with 25 out of 33 kills. 201 CS, not too shabby. We're going to take a look at the post-game stats here in just a second. So we did 33,000 damage, second on the team. We had the most gold on the team. 45,000 tanked, so more than anybody else. We did 201 CS, so everyone else did a really good job as well. We didn't max that out, but then take a look at the advanced stats. 2,600 healing between Conqueror and Triumph. Q did 1,000 damage, 1,200 from sudden impact. Not bad at all. Thanks a lot for watching. Have fun in the jungle.